brakes on a 2018 GMC Yukon XL. Got the premium CarQuest rotors. They're coated, so hopefully they won't rust in the middle. And we got the premium, what is it, ceramic pads. So they had a sale going on today. Normally it's like $350 for the front set. And we got it for $230 out the door. So step one is we're gonna jack her up. So it's always a good idea to jack from a mounting spot or a frame. This is a full frame truck, so pretty easy to figure that out. Always use some jack stands just in case. You know, these things leaking out while you're underneath it. Even though the brakes are working on the outside, but safety first. Now this job save you about 15 minutes if you got an impact. This thing will knock the wheels or the lug nuts off right away. Even with the wheel up in the air. So these are aftermarket lug nuts. So this takes a 21 mil for the key. As you can see, the tread depth on the pads are pretty low. I'll show them compared to the new ones once we get them out of there. Little trick, you can turn the wheel all the way to one side so you can access these 18mm bolts, top and bottom of the caliper bracket. These look pretty crusty, so they should be fun to try and get out. Luckily with the wheel turned, you can get the impact in there, so let's see how this goes. Easy, frickin' easy. Let's try a second one here. They came out. All right, and then to loosen up this caliper and push the pistons back in, you're gonna want to take a big screwdriver and slowly pry it from either side. This thing is gonna get loose, start dropping on you, so you gotta catch it. Put this back in the holder. It's loose, should slide right off. Set that right up top. Next, we gotta get this rotor off. This looks like it's been on there for a while, so that should be fun too. I think the sledgehammer is gonna come out next. All right, get something super flammable. That's good to hold the caliper while you're working on the rest of it. Just kidding about the flammable part, there's nothing in there. All right, so now we're gonna use our trusty sledgehammer here. And I'll give her a couple whacks. Now we're coming loose. Pretty rusty, this guy. Bada bing, bada boom. One down. So what we're gonna want to do next is brush up that rust, make sure that's all nice clean surface, what we start with. Maybe put some anti-seize or some lube in there, and we should be good to go. Get yourself a wire brush here, put some glasses on, and start cleaning up that hub a little bit.
Well, that'd be perfect, but it's alright, nice on there.
Now we're going to take a look at this caliper.
There you go, shoes out.
So these pads were shot. They barely got any meat on them. Plus they were sticking a little bit, looks like, on one side. They were thinner over here and thicker over here. Alright, so I went to the parts store to get some VHT or whatever this is, dual color caliper high temp paint. It's good to 500 degrees. Make these look a little nicer with the new wheels. And they also got this brake parts lubricant. So we always just use white lithium grease, but I think that's a petroleum-based product. So this is actually good to 500 degrees. And this will prevent your calipers from locking up in place. So probably cheap insurance here. This is cool. So you want to pull your caliper apart, and you want to clean up these pins. Put the new brake lubricant on there, and put it back together. Load up our pads, and we're off to painting. And then we'll let this set, start on the other side. All right, so now we got those pins all lubed up with the green stuff. Never seen that before. It looks like peppermint jelly, but we're good to go on that. We're gonna put this back together and load up the shoes. All right, now that we're all dry, this is the most satisfying part. Getting all this tape off. You didn't get too much overspray on stuff. Mostly just trying to protect the rubber, but this is nice when you pull this stuff off. I don't know why. It just looks cool when it's all done. Better than a big old rust pile. So I'll finish wrapping this one up and I'll load this bracket up. Now I'm always gentle with putting the new slides in. With taking the old ones out, because the new slides, for whatever reason, I've had them where they don't fit before. These fit pretty nice and snug up. Looks like the spacing is good. So we're gonna slide the new pads in and see how they fit. And as you can tell, it's definitely time to change them. Look at the thickness difference in that. So it looks like these fit really nice. Now we test fit them. I'm gonna add a little bit of this green brake lubricant on these slides here, just so that the pads can move freely. All right, those are all greased up with that mint goo. So now we're ready to load it up. So you got to slide this back onto the main caliper, and then you can load up the pads. Now I always prep the new rotors. Now these are coated all the way around, so I don't know if you need to prep these or not, because I don't think they're oiled, but we're gonna spray brake clean on there anyway so we don't contaminate the brake pads. And so there we go. Other side. Just up clean rag. And just wipe that surface down. That way you get any oils off from shipping. And you got a nice clean surface for your new pads. That one's ready to go on. It's always a good idea to clean up your surfaces a little bit. You don't want to paint this because this is going to be going against the rotor. So you don't want that to stick. Plus this center hub gets a little cleaned up while you're doing that. And I'm going to throw a little bit more of this brake lubricant just on this hub so that doesn't seize up on us. All right, now the new rotor's on. These new rotors these days come with these little set screws. This is a Torx, thing is a T30. Yep, T30. So I'll just zing that in, that'll hold the rotor in place. Over tighten it, but see how it's nice and straight now? We're good to go. Now we got to put the caliper on. Once you got your caliper set, it's not a bad idea to throw some blue Loctite on these 18mm bolts. You don't want your brake caliper loosening up on you. And there's some blue Loctite. How much you're supposed to use, not exactly sure. And if you got something to say about it, what are you, the cops? All right, we got our torque wrench set to 150 foot-pounds. I think that should suffice. Plus we got the blue on there, so it should be good to go. Let's give her a crank. All right. So we got this big 1/2-inch torque wrench on there. That's good, and we'll double check the top. One more time on the bottom. There we go. Now it's back together. Now we're just turning the wheel on. And this is the same thing, just on the other side. So a repeat of what we did before. It's two 18mm bolts.
highly recommend using impact to get that apart. Just reload the caliper here with the new pads. Make sure you lube up the slides so you don't get those stuck in the future. You want to clean the oil off your rotor, paint everything up, reassemble, put some blue Loctite on there, and back in shape. Look how nice that looks compared to the big old rusty pile we started with. And then you just want to put your wheel back on. I always put my lug nuts at 120 foot-pounds, but look up your specs for your car. All right, so this is what they look like all done. Now they're all black. They should look better behind a chrome wheel. We're not looking for perfection, just trying to hide some of the rust. So here she is, job well done. Just saved you a bunch of money. There you go, and you gotta leave them by the road. You gotta help your fellow junk guy.